Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. Well. It is finally time. The Cowboys really need to get back on the field. Too many people are running their mouth about the Dallas Cowboys about non-football issues. It is definitely time for the Dallas Cowboys to get back on the field. So if anyone's going to talk, let it be about football things. I mean, the Jerry Jones thing. I mean, like I said, Jerry over here playing chess and people playing checkers. One of the things that I think Jerry did, one of the people in the stream mentioned, and I think there may be some validity to it, is that one of the things that Jerry Jones did is I believe he took some pressure off his players. But if you look at what the writer for ESPN, what she did was in her 5 minutes of fame, I don't even know if it's fame anymore because no one's really talking about it, I guess maybe the way they thought. But the story was absolutely dumb. How are we talking about distractions? We're talking about something being a distraction. But at the same time, even some of the players who are calling it a distraction are saying that it had nothing to do with winning or losing. So if it has nothing to do with winning or losing, can somebody please explain to me how is it a distraction? Now, I could be wrong, but when I think about distraction, I don't think about something that inconveniences me while at the same time doesn't affect how I do my job. That it's not even affecting my job directly. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not even affecting my job indirectly. It's just like working somewhere and in the grand scheme of things, it's like working somewhere and you just don't like the way they do a certain thing. It doesn't stop you from doing your job. It doesn't hold you up from doing your job. So what's the point in even talking about it? I mean, what's the point? And so this is just what people do when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. And so many people, they got so many different opinions about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm actually starting to worry about some of the Dallas Cowboy YouTubers. And I can't expect all of them, I can't expect all of them to be necessarily objective. But some of them seem to feed into the fan frenzy, the fanatical, extreme fans who, it's like they want to burn Jerry Jones at the stake. I mean, stop it. This is sports, man. This is sports entertainment. Jerry Jones has made his decision on what he's going to do. Jerry knows what he's doing, even if we don't like it. Jerry has decided that he wasn't giving Mike McCarthy any help. Jerry Jones decided he was doing nothing in free agency, which that's not new. They typically don't play in free agency. He decided he was doing nothing at the trade line. Wait a minute. That's actually not new because the Cowboys typically do hardly anything at the trade deadline. So I don't understand, as I said yesterday, it's funny to me that people are mad at Jerry about being Jerry. I don't even understand it. How do you be mad at a tiger because it doesn't change its stripes? I mean, you just wake up one day and say, man, you know what? I'm tired of this tiger not changing the stripes. It's a tiger. And so it's just been typically Jerry Jones. So I'm not tripping. Jerry Jones has decided that he's going to do a soft rebuild of this team. And so even if you deny it, it doesn't matter what anyone denies or confirms. All the proof is in the pudding, and we're watching Jerry Jones go with his superstars, and he's going to build around them, I guess, for the next 3 to 4 years and see if he can hit pay dirt on that 3-year CeeDee Lamb deal, the 4-year Dak Prescott deal, and probably the 3 to 4 year deal we're going to see for Micah Parsons coming up in the offseason. What's going on, Spider-Man? What's going on, Bill Bates? We need to use Lipke more. He is way underused. It's kind of funny when you start talking about one of the problems that the Cowboys have had, especially in these games that they're losing. We have to understand what's going on, Nisi. We have to understand they're not really getting enough plays. They're not getting enough plays to use. I'm pretty sure they probably have certain plays and they say, okay, we're going to use Lipke on in here and we're going to use whoever there. They're not. I mean, the Cowboys are literally losing the time of possession. They are losing time of possession. And when you think about it, let's look at a couple of things here and then we'll get into some news. When you think about it, the Cowboys are really losing the time of possession. Let's look at something here. You bring up something interesting. Let me see. Team stats. I want to look at, okay, so I want you to think about this game right here. So the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants 20-17, right? Think about this. But when you look at time of possession, and let me see if I can bring this up. When you look down here at time of possession, now, guess what? The New York Giants is the team on the right. Time of possession, 35 minutes. 35 minutes. So I'm sure that the Cowboys have in their minds, okay, we're going to use Hunter Lipke. We got a game plan. We're going to use Hunter Lipke. It's kind of hard to use Hunter Lipke that by the time you get the ball, you look up at the scoreboard and you're 10, 7, 13, 14, 17 points behind. And all of a sudden, guess what? I'm going to tell y'all something. You might not realize this. But see, your game plan that you have, your game plan is typically made with the understanding of we're not going to be down by 14 points. Your game plan is typically, okay, we're going to be 0-0, up 7-0, 7-3, 7-7, 10-7. So you got a game plan that you're methodically working. But the moment you fall behind, guess what? Unfortunately, the game plan has to change. Because now you're saying, it's like we're losing patience and we have to kind of go into desperation mode. So, it would be nice to have a two-back formation like the old days. I said that before. I mean, we really ought to be using Lipke like a Daryl Johnston, who with a little bit more skill, in my opinion. Yes, Black. I'm telling us, man, we got to understand this changes how we do things. If Jerry is doing a soft rebuild, why not get a bookend to go with Micah, Myles Garrett? Woo, man. You know what, Niecy? I'm wondering, though, Jerry, I think he just wants to go all the way young. And not only young, I just don't think he wants to go with any more contracts. I don't think he wants to go with any more contracts. Our TOP is terrible. I mean, it's killing us. And you know what, Black 420 TV? That was literally our strength last year. We were killing teams on time of possession, even if we were getting 3 points. But see, now what's hurting us, we're not even getting the 3 points. Dak's turning it over in the red zone. There's mistakes in the red zone. And so what winds up getting us is then we don't even, now we have to go away from what we intended to do, and we can't take it to teams, but rather we're playing on our heels. Spider-Man said we're not getting help from Lipke and the tight ends because we have to use them to help on the O-line. Facts. We can't stop the run. And, I've noticed something on film that, we're Lipke, some of these guys are missing assignments because they just can't even do 2-on-1, or they can't do where Lipke is helping on one and then move to get the other guy because the other guy's giving them the business. Bill Bates says time of possession is bad. We can't run the ball and we can't stop the run. That is going to be a problem. And that's why I say for me, this San Francisco 49ers game, you know what? I got a whole little thing I'm gonna put together. I got a whole little presentation I put together we're gonna talk about. But I'm gonna tell you at the end of the day, man, we can talk till we're blue in the face. There has never, so far this season, this game right here, if there's one game that we're saying the Cowboys must stop the run, this is the game. The Dallas Cowboys must stop the run. Kyle Shanahan is a master play caller. I guarantee you, Kyle Shanahan has put in all kinds of exotic runs because he's going to take that ball out of the hands of Brock Purdy. He's taking the ball out of the hands of Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan is seen. See, Kyle Shanahan is not stubborn like some people are. Kyle Shanahan knows what Purdy is without those weapons. He knows. He knows exactly what he is. He's watching it. And he is saying right now, he's already said this week, we're taking this ball out of Purdy's hand. You are going to watch the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be shocked if they don't run it 45 times. If they don't run it 45 times, I am literally going to be shocked. And then when they freeze the Dallas Cowboys with that run, because they'll be anticipating run every single down, even on 3rd and longs, they'll be running the ball. Watch what I tell you. Kyle Shanahan is going to be willing to take the long run. I mean, he's going to be willing to take the path less traveled. Watch what I tell you. Kyle Shanahan, he's not going to play it safe. Don't mistake that for playing it safe. He's going to play to his strength and the Dallas Cowboys' weakness. Boy, he going to run that ball. This is really a battle between Kyle Shanahan and Mike Zimmer. No one else. Can Mike Zimmer, with this particular, with what he has, can Mike Zimmer stop the run? I'm going to tell y'all something. Dan Quinn, we got to give him a little credit. Dan Quinn did a way better job than I think a lot of people gave him credit for. But one thing we know about Dan Quinn couldn't stop the run either. And Kyle Shanahan would be bringing him to business just like he's going to bring Mike Zimmer to business. But I want y'all to understand something. One of the reasons why the Cowboys brought on Mike Zimmer has had a lot of success against the Kyle Shanahan tree. He's had a lot of success against Kyle Shanahan and that Kyle Shanahan tree. And that was one of the reasons why they brought him on, I believe. But the problem is, the problem is, I'm just wondering, it's one thing to bring him on, but it's another thing for him not to have the players. Well, I mean, when he doesn't have the players, what can he do? I mean, he's had some success. I mean, I'm pretty sure Shanahan has gotten the best. I mean, the Shanahan's gotten the best of him more times than not. But he's had some success against that Kyle Shanahan tree. But it makes me wonder, can he have success with the Cowboys and all of their injuries? All of their injuries. We're going to talk about that in the injury report. Our major injuries on defense, Spider-Man says. San Francisco injuries on offense. This game will come down to, can our offense score on their defense? There it is. Can we score? And I'm going to tell you something. We don't need to just score. We need to score a lot. If we think we're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm not saying that it can't happen, but if we think we're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers and grind it out like we did against the Steelers, grind it out like we did against the Giants, these 20-17 wins, I wouldn't even play around with the 49ers like that. I wouldn't even play around with the 49ers like that. If we're going to play with the 49ers, we need to score. We need to score. We need to score. And that's all going to be into my game plan. And then we're going to get to the game plan. But first, I want to read a couple of comments, and then I'm going to give us some breaking news. Bill Bates, we have to have 8 in the box every play. Let Purdy try and beat us alone. He is proving like he is not good in that situation this season. Well, another thing that's going to help us out is he doesn't have those weapons. I mean, he doesn't have those weapons. So I would say this probably would be a bad game plan if he had Ayuk, if he had Deebo Samuel, if Kittle wasn't battling a sprained foot, I think it is. So if he wasn't battling these things, I would be like, if they were not battling all the things that they're battling, I would kind of be like, no, that's still a bad idea, because you don't want to put those guys one-on-one on what we have, knowing especially how Trayvon Diggs has been getting cooked. But with the injuries they have on offense, we should be able to be in base defense and stop them, or stack the box, stop them, come up with exotic ways of getting to the passer and stop them. We should be able to do that with the way they are. Nisi says, why do you practice? To work out the problems and do it to get it right. No time to be soft. Boy, let me tell y'all something. This is going to be a game for Mike McCarthy. It's going to be a serious game, because the way he came out of the bye week last year, And I'm going to show you a few things of what he did when he came out of the bye week against the Rams. I mean, he better do it this year, because if not, man, the floodgates are going to open with the criticism. Nisi said, how are the Cowboys practicing stopping the run? Are they using Dalvin and Dowdle in practice to get prepared for this matchup? I mean, who knows on that one, I'll tell you. But, hold on a second. Let me look at something here. Speaking of Dalvin Cook, we have breaking news. We have, in case you have not heard, we have breaking news. And if you haven't heard, you are about to hear it here first. Breaking news by the Dallas Cowboys. Dalvin Cook will be playing on Sunday night. Dalvin Cook will be playing more than likely, and I don't even think it's more than likely. We are going to see Dalvin Cook's debut on Sunday night. Finally, Dalvin Cook. And I'm telling you, the Cowboys are saying something. We need a running game. There is no way that if we think that Dak Prescott is just going to drop back against the San Francisco 49ers defense and just have a field day back there, we're going to be sadly mistaken, because they got Bosa back there. I mean, they got Bosa. And one of the things about Bosa that's scary, do y'all know Bosa plays on the right side and the left side? And if he mess around and go over there with Tyler Guyton, Dak Prescott going to be running for his life. Dak Prescott will be running for his life if Bosa winds up on the side where Guyton is. Spider-Man says, who are they going to sit? I'm not sure. But they've already been sitting Deuce Vaughn, but at this point, I don't know who they're going to sit. I'm gonna read to you a little bit about the article. It says Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones told 105.3 The Fan that Dalvin Cook, who signed to Dallas's practice squad in late August, could potentially make his team debut against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Mike McCarthy and OC Brian Schottenheimer have been talking to us about how it's about time for him to get his opportunity, Jones said via The Athletic's John Machota. We'll see how everything goes tomorrow and make that call. Talking to reporters early on Friday, Mike McCarthy added, here it is, Dalvin is ready. I really like the work he's putting in. He's in a position to play. Dalvin Cook will be playing. I will not be surprised if Ezekiel Elliott doesn't suit up. But I don't know. I would find it to be hard. I'd find it a bit hard to believe that he wouldn't suit up. Somebody is not going to suit up because Dalvin Cook is going to hit that field. Dalvin Cook is playing. And I think the Cowboys are doing this in the right way. He's playing on the road first. I'd rather see him play on the road first because the Cowboys have been sucking it up at home. I mean, I would have loved to seen him play at home last week. Not the last week before last. But hey, you know what? The way they've been playing at home, maybe that might be a little too much pressure to debut him at home. Let's debut him on the road. Bill Bates said, I would like to see what Dalvin is able to do. I'm going to tell y'all something. I think Dalvin going to work. Man, this man been sitting on ice. He hungry. I don't know what he gonna do the game. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what he gonna do the game after this one. But I'll tell you this much, man, Dalvin is hungry. Dalvin is ready to show people that he can run. And so just on adrenaline alone, I mean, you might see something from Dalvin Cook you might not see for the rest of the season. You might not see it for the rest of the season. But I think Dalvin Cook gonna go to work. I think Dalvin Cook about to go to work. Nisi said they may sit Zeke. I'm thinking the same thing. They may sit him. I mean, I talked about that scenario 2 weeks ago. I mean, really, I would just tell, hey, Zeke, maybe for the team, you just sit down this week. Steve White says, hi, y'all. What's going on, Stephen White? Appreciate you. Glad to see you. Spider-Man says, Zeke is going to have Spider-Man says Zeke gonna have an injury. So I don't know who are they going to sit, but Dalvin Cook is hitting that field. Dalvin Cook is hitting that field. And I'm telling y'all, the Cowboys are realizing it. If you're gonna win this game, man, you better get some TOP. You better have some time of possession. You don't want to give Mike Shanahan all that time of possession, because I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. Man, Kyle Shanahan is going to wear that Dallas Cowboys defensive front out. He is going to run that ball. He is going to run that ball at those safeties. I mean, I'm hoping that Marquise Bell gets some time in this week. I'm hoping Marquise Bell, because we've had a very poor safety play. I'm also hoping that Eric Kendricks, I haven't heard anything about the final injury report, but I'm hoping Eric Kendricks is able to play. Nisi said with this game, they can sit a tight end and carry Dowdle and Zeke. Yes. You know what? Because we'll look at that on the injury report. Let's look at our we'll talk about this as we keep going on. And we'll talk about the injury reports from both teams. What's going on, No Cap? Is Parsons that hurt, or does he not want to be a part of the criticism if they lose? You know what? I'm going to tell you something, No Cap. And let's get into the injury report. And we'll talk about this as we get into the injury report. Because I want to give us the storylines. So when we look at the storylines, because to me, the storylines are more important, or as important sometimes as the stats. Because the storylines is why we're watching these games. And so when we think about this on the preview, we start thinking about these storylines. And one of the storylines is the San Francisco 49ers have actually defeated the Dallas Cowboys their last 3 meetings. And I was blown away that when I looked at the last 4 meetings, we beat them in 2020, but Andy Dalton was the quarterback. And when they met, they were both 5-9. So the game was pretty much useless. But when you think about the last 3 times they've met, they have beat the Dallas Cowboys. And so this is a huge storyline. I mean, will it be a 4th time? Will it be a 4th time? Because to be honest with you, some people have been saying, if not now, when? But I still say when you look at the injuries, the problem is, the injuries are kind of a wash because they're hurt on offense. We're hurt on defense. So the real battle is between Shanahan and Zimmer. The real battle is between Shanahan and Zimmer. Can we stop the run? I mean, I think that's the story. Can we stop the run? Because since they're hurt on offense, especially as far as the wide receiver core go, well, Mason is going to run the ball. So can Zimmer stop him? And then number 2, and I think this is secondary, because then when we stop the run, or if we stop the run, what will we do when we get the ball? Will we be able to get time of possession, run the ball somewhat to set up the play action pass? What will we do if we stop the run when we get it? So we got to first stop the run, but then when we stop the run, what do we do when we stop it? Because it won't do any good to stop it and get no points. It won't do any good. And so when you think about it, the San Francisco 49ers have had the Dallas Cowboys number the last 3 times. And so the thing about these types of games, they're psychological games. Because what happens if the San Francisco 49ers get up 10-0? What happens if they get up 13-3? The Cowboys, I'm telling us, this is not, to me, I don't call this a grinded out game. The Cowboys got to make every possession count. They got to score points. And it can't be 20. It can't be 20. I don't think you're beating the 49ers at home with 20 points. Because, I mean, if you're saying you're going to beat them with 20 points, I mean, you're basically saying that your defense is going to rise to the occasion. And they're going to really shut down the run of the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If Kyle Shanahan got something to do with it, boy, I'm telling you, Zimmer better come up with the game plan of his life. He better come up with the game plan of his life. Jordan Phillips might be able to help. He's back. Yes, I'm hearing that too. The media will move the goalpost again and say that the only reason the Cowboys won was because they were banged up. Oh, we might as well get ready. We might as well get ready for that. So at the end of the day, we better win. I mean, because they're going to talk whether we win or lose. Either way, it's like beating up a guy that's smaller than you. If you win, you a bad guy. If you lose, you bad. I mean, so, you might as well be the bad guy rather than being bad. Be the bad guy. So, do what you got to do to win. No Cap says we're hurt on defense too. Hufanga, I saw that. All-Pro Greenlaw, top 10 linebacker, and Hargreaves is a top defensive tackle. Yeah, I saw that. And it's funny, No Cap, because you don't really see people talking about that as much. Because where people are really doing a lot of the talking is the offensive power of the 49ers. That's where everyone is like, that's why they don't think the 49ers are going to, there's a chance the Cowboys could win the game. Robert Brennan says, hopefully at least kick field goals. Man, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, boy. Brandon Aubrey been in that courtroom all week. And I'm sure he's been practicing kicking field goals, but I would rather him be kicking extra points. Extra points. Because to me, if Brandon Aubrey kicks 4 or 5 field goals, bad sign. Bad sign. I only want Aubrey kicking extra points if possible. Extra points if possible, 2 field goals at the most. Cornerback defense got to step up. Well, we all getting, looks like, Kalen Carson back, and we'll talk about that in the injury report. We need that motion on offense we used on Pittsburgh, then abandoned. We're going to talk about that too, Stephen White. Nisi, we win and they move the goalposts. I don't care. I'll be celebrating. Me too. I don't care if a team is 0-7 when I see them. I want to beat them. I don't care what the talk going to be. I want to beat them. And I don't care if I beat them by a point. As long as I win, I don't care. I don't know where these people are coming from. But they've defeated the Cowboys on the last 3 matchups. So there's a psychological aspect going on here. The Cowboys have got to make sure, don't fall behind early. Don't fall behind early because we're playing with young guys. And the one thing we don't want is for their confidence to be crashed early. Gregory says, good evening, sir. Good evening, Gregory Barnes. This is the Cowboys' gut check that this will define their season. And you know what? I don't know so much as define the season, but it's a gut check. It's a gut check. It's a gut check because I don't think 3 and 4 just ruins us. Makes it a lot more difficult, but I don't think it ruins us. But I'm with you. I could see where everyone is saying that this right here is kind of like a define the season moment. But I think the problem with the Cowboys, they have too many season defining games. I mean, when you look at this next quote unquote, as McCarthy calls it, the trimester. I mean, this second trimester of games, all of them, man. The Cowboys, we really are about to know what the Cowboys are truly made of, what they are truly made of. Cowboys, I think they're 5.5-point underdogs. So that's still saying something. They don't have no belief in the Cowboys. And I've been looking at all the pundits, and they're all saying that the Cowboys don't have a chance. All of them are saying the Cowboys don't have a chance. The next 5 weeks are gut checks. Yes. This right here, these next 5 games, now, these are really the games that are going to tell us if we're going to make the playoffs. Because if you lose them all, you're not going. I mean, you just got to chalk it up for what it is. You're not going to the playoffs. But if you can win 3 of those games, that would put you at 6 and 5? 6 and 5, you're probably still in there because you've beaten some of the teams that are in front of you. So this is going to be a huge deal. Steve White said, this is the finals for Mike. Hey, you know what? It might have already been the finals for Mike, but boy, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm just warning y'all, boy, Mike mess around and turn this season around. Boy, everybody, this whole fan base, y'all thought they were talking about, y'all think they've been talking about fire Jerry Jones this season. I mean, they mess around and go 12 and, I mean, they mess around and go 11-6 and get in the playoffs and go to the second round. Boy, Jerry will turn right back around and sign him. Nisi said, I hope Jerry allows the head coach in the DC to get in these guys' butts if they don't do their jobs, embarrass them and snap them back to reality. See, because the problem is, Nisi, you're saying something. Because it's one thing when the media does it. And then we start saying, you know, just block out all the outside noise. Well, let's let it come from the inside. Well, let it come from the inside then. Let it come from the inside. Yep, we need to sweep the East. That's it. We need to sweep the East. So and that'll be our first thing. We got to win that division. We have to win the head-to-heads in the conference. Yes, we got to do it. And so San Francisco's offense is injured. Everyone's talking about that. So No Cap has brought up a great point, but they do also have some injuries on their defense. I looked at that today, but I'm noticing that people are not talking about that as much as they're talking about this thing on the offense. But the Cowboys' defense is injured. The Cowboys' defense is injured. It's a major point for both of them. And then the issue is Zimmer versus Shanahan. Will he be able to stop that run? Because that's going to really tell us everything we need to know. Because if he can't stop the run, then we're going to have a point runoff. See, then it'll be about the points. Every time they score, the Cowboys will have to score. And when you put your team in those have-to-score moments and they don't score, it starts breaking their confidence when they don't score. Robert Benton says there's been too much talk in the press that the last couple of weeks need to start letting them play on the field, do the talking. Exactly. That's why I said I'm so glad that the Cowboys are back on the field. The Cowboys are back on the field. And so the next storyline is, Mike McCarthy's play calling after the bye. Mike McCarthy. This is a huge storyline. And the reason why I say it is because this is all I've heard Dak Prescott talking about. Well, everybody was saying the same thing last year. We came out of the bye. CeeDee Lamb said they said the same thing last year. We came out of the bye. I heard CeeDee Lamb's interview, and CeeDee Lamb was saying that him and Dak Prescott, they got some time in the bye week. They've been practicing. So we're going to see. And I also noticed something else that Dak Prescott said, that him and Ferguson also needs to get on the same page, because I don't think Ferguson is 100%. I think early in the season, I think it was a sprained MCL with Ferguson. And so I don't know if that knee has been 100%. I don't know if that knee is 100%. So, this is a big deal. Nisi said everyone has major injuries, and it will definitely be on coaching. See, that's where I am. This coaching thing is a huge issue. And this is where this is the finals for Mike, like Steve said, because, see, while I'm critical of Jerry Jones for not giving Mike McCarthy the players, but the one thing he has not taken away from Mike McCarthy, at least to my knowledge, is the playbook. He hasn't taken the playbook from Mike McCarthy. And so Jerry Jones, while he may not have given him players, he's saying, well, show me you can coach. Show me you can coach. Be creative as a play caller, because we're watching around the NFL where teams like the Rams, even though they got I'm telling you, that referee, that referee crew, they don't need to do another game until they go into some kind of training. Because how do you miss that face mask call last night, even when the lineman responds, unless he got a face mask call in the end zone? Now, I don't think that the Minnesota Vikings were going to come back and win the game, but I can't say that with certainty. So you got to make that call, and it's embarrassing to the NFL that we have all of this technology. We got all of this technology that everyone can see it. We got replays, and to say that something is not reviewable, And you're going to miss that egregious call? I mean, at least say in the last 2 minutes, man, everything is reviewable. You don't want to let the referees determine the outcome of a game. And I know some people say, well, that's a part of football. The referees, don't let them cheat. But I digress. Sean McVay, he's got people hurt on his offense. And, man, he was doing some magic with those players. So Mike McCarthy, everybody deals with injuries. You don't have the players, but you have the playbook. Design some plays to where the guys that you have can get open. Robert Benton says if the coaches can't get the players to execute, that's it. That's it. Put them in a position to win. No Cap says Kyle told Purdy that his job is on the line this season, so he has to ball out. He chewed him out and he didn't know the media was listening. Beat writers reported he was scolding him. Man, I told y'all last week, people better stop playing with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan not trying to win games. Kyle Shanahan trying to win a Super Bowl. This man wants a Super Bowl like his father has. He's tired of getting to the Super Bowl not winning. Tired of getting the NFC Championship games and not winning. This man wants a Super Bowl. He's not like a lot of folk. A lot of folk, hey, they satisfied, man. Oh, we've been to the Super Bowl. No big deal. You know, we pretty good. That's not the goal. That's not the goal. I'm telling us. Nisi says, what happened to these special playbooks Mike had? We're about to find out. We're about to find out. We're going to find out what he is. Next, use Troy Aikman's remarks as fuel. Use them as fuel. Because when they asked CeeDee Lamb, what did he think about what Troy Aikman said? I got a video I did on it last night. And a matter of fact, I didn't put it in the video. I actually did Michael Parsons' response because I thought Michael Parsons' response was the best out of all of them. But CeeDee Lamb, when they asked him, what did he think about Troy Aikman's response? He said it was right on time. He said it was right on time. And that in itself, to me, showed some maturity because don't snap back like your coach did. Your coach didn't show any emotional, he didn't show any kind of emotional intelligence. No, you take it constructively. And you prove Troy Aikman wrong this week. You prove him wrong. Now, see, I'm going to tell y'all what Troy did. Troy genius in what he did. Yes, the refs in Vegas are shameful. You know what? I'm built different. The way Sean McVay was jumping up and down and carrying on, my conscience wouldn't let me do that as a coach. If I knew somebody cheated for me to win, I just couldn't do it. I still believe if the Falcons let Penix take over and let Cousins go, Kyle would love to have him on the Niners. Unfortunately, we know that ain't going to happen because they got too much money riding on him. I don't think he'll make the 3, but he'll definitely make 2. 10 to 15-yard passes in a weak spot on Niners D. Well, we're going to see. It all depends on what Mike McCarthy can do. But they need to use Troy Aikman's remarks as fuel. Because I don't think you have to block out all the noise. There are certain people that when I hear them say things, I'm listening. Because if they're saying things, people who have done it on the highest level, people who I know want us to be successful, I'm listening. And Troy Aikman did something to the Dallas Cowboys that they absolutely, I don't know if they absolutely needed, but I think they needed from this perspective. Troy put them on such blast. How hard do y'all think they're going to run those routes this week? How hard do y'all think they're going to run those routes knowing now that after what Troy said, everybody's going to be watching to see if what Troy said is true? They're going to be watching now if they're running those routes hard. They're going to watch now and see if they fight through those defenders. They're going to watch now and see if they're coming out of their breaks hard. They're going to be watching. They know now. They're cognitive. Everyone's going to be watching. And so I believe that in itself is going to make them perform at a different level. Because it's different. See, you can be lackadaisical. You can be lazy when you don't think anybody's watching. But when you know people watching, boy, you do things different. You do things different. Niecy said Turpin better use Troy's response and take a couple to the house since he clapped back. You know what? I bet you if they let him get that ball in his hand, he will. I bet you he will. But it's all about play design. It's all about play design. Yes, they better, Troy has been to the mountaintop. They better listen. He's smart. People don't understand what Troy did is smart. See, he's now put them on such blast, everybody watching, and they now know everybody watching. Because even Dak Prescott said, yeah, we need to improve. He said he also understands that Troy says things, because he's in the media, but he also couldn't disparage what he said. Niecy said wide receivers would need oxygen this game. Whoa, man, they're gonna be doing it. They're gonna be doing it. Because they're going to know everybody's going to be watching them. They're going to be running them lousy, uncreative routes. Like, wow, me and Spider-Man. You know what? But hey, let's reserve judgment. Let's reserve judgment because they all keep talking about how they're going to look coming out of the bye week. Bringing this back in now is at least a sort of unknown threat they have to prepare and be mindful of. Yes. So block out the nonsense distraction allegations. Block out that nonsense. I played last night Dak Prescott's response to that. But as I was listening to it, I made a video about it last night because I didn't realize there was something that I left out of what Dak Prescott said. And in case y'all haven't heard it, I want to let y'all, because I played it on the live, but I want y'all to hear the other part that I didn't let you hear in case you have not heard Dak Prescott's interview in its entirety, because I find it to be strange that Dak Prescott is in contradiction of C.D. Lamb. See, C.D. Lamb said, it's a distraction sometimes, and that's all I'm going to say. But see, I say shame on CeeDee Lamb for saying that. Because to me, see, your mentality is a part of the problem. And Dak and CeeDee Lamb, they're not on the same page, not only on the field, not only on the sideline, but where I'm now concerned is mentality. And I'm concerned about CeeDee Lamb's mentality. His mentality to me isn't right when you start talking about being someone, especially you're the second highest paid wide receiver in the game. And you're saying what you're saying. Oh, yes, some of the times it's a distraction. Let me see. I want to pull up here just for a moment the second part. And let me see, where is that? The second part of what Dak Prescott said, because I think the second part is extremely powerful. Let me see. I thought I had it numbered yesterday. Let me see here. Dak Prescott. I have it pulled up. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it in right here. But Dak Prescott, he called cap on his entire team. And I appreciate what Dak did. Dak called out the whole team, and so did Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons said, you gotta call boo-boo when you see it. And he said this report is boo-boo. Let me see here.
But then just in reflection, how proud my mom would be of the family that I'm starting. He's a guy that you can turn to, and he's going to do that. I know. So a lot to look forward to.
Dak, some former players have spoken about tours.
Saying the same thing.
Okay, so this is where Dak answers the first question.
Nature of this organization, the tours are probably 10 times. Yeah, some do. But I guess passing up the guys. I mean, you've just got to embrace.
Now listen to this part right here.
10 times more than other places, if the other places are doing them. I think some do, right? I mean. No? Well, okay, there you go. Cowboys.
Some do.
Yeah, some do. But I guess, passing up the guys, I mean, Yeah, you've just got to embrace it. I mean, honestly, to me, you can walk by and you can have a negative mindset about it and allow that to ruin your day, or you can be thankful that you're in an organization that people want to see. And for me, it's just easy to say what's up, wave, and keep walking. Obviously, they can't talk to you, so I think that's where I've heard, right? You feel like a zoo animal. Well, it's like, sometimes, I bark back and I say, hey, and, you just keep rolling. So a lot going on that I'm not going to allow a couple of people through the workplace. There's people on the other side of the building that you don't necessarily know. Is it a distraction when you're grabbing your plate and they're grabbing theirs? That it's easy to focus on what you want to focus on if that's your mindset.
Is that a difference between winning and losing?
No.
Now, did y'all hear what they asked Dak Prescott? They said, they asked him, Clarence Hill, that's Clarence Hill voice. He says, are the distractions that they're talking about, is that the difference between winning and losing? And CD Lamb says that it is a distraction. Dak Prescott has just explained it's not a distraction and it's an excuse. But watch this part of the answer. Dak Prescott is about to go nuclear on the past players and the players on the team, a la CD Lamb. Listen to this.
That's your mindset.
Is that a difference between winning and losing?
No.
That has not played a role in
The tours?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think so. Then, I mean, if that's the case, then the crowd's a distraction when you get out there. So, I mean, it's the NFL. It's a business that those exact reasons are the reasons that this game is entertaining, that people want to watch it, that you have the fans that you have, and you can create the relationships that no, I mean, if you're distracted by that, then you're distracted by the fans in any arena you get into.
Hang on, we're going to finish with Calvin and talk, so we got to go.
Troy Aikman was very critical of the receivers, particularly CD. Just your thoughts about the things that he said?
I truly didn't see everything that he said. There's criticism. That's his job, right? He gets paid to analyze things, to comment on things. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think myself, CD, this team, everybody would say we have to do better. It's obvious, as I just said, looking at the self-scouting over the 6 games, we have to do better. But whether he got personal, whether he went too far, once again, I mean, the guy gets paid to do that, and he's doing a job, and once again, a job that he knows is going to create ruckus. The last thing I'm allowed to do is create division inside this building.
Dak, how would you assess how you
Y'all hear Dak Prescott? Dak is going nuclear in a Dak Prescott way on his own squad. Dak is telling them, man up. I don't want to hear about distractions, because if they're distracting you in the weight room, it's no wonder you can't play when the lights are the brightest. You want to know why they can't win at home? Because that's when the lights are the brightest. That's why they can't win. Because if you telling me that some folks coming on a tour, 5 to 20 folk maximum on a tour, and one of them knock on the window, or they see you in passing and they say, hey, this is Dak Prescott, and you telling me that is such a distraction that you can't focus in practice? You can't, what is it? It's distracting you from understanding the plays, understanding your position, where you're supposed to be. What kind of distraction is it? Because if that's distracting you, what's happening when you're stepping on the football field in front of 100,000 people on any given Sunday as a Dallas Cowboys? The light's too big for some of them, obviously. The light's too big. Man, Dak is killing them. And notice what he did. He's smart. That's Troy Aikman's job. That's what he's supposed to do. Because let's really be real. He has to report the facts. But notice what he said. It's also his job to cause a ruckus. Now, didn't I say earlier? Aikman is very calculated in what he did. Aikman could have called up Dak Prescott and said that. Aikman could have called CD Lamb up and said that. Like Michael Parsons said, he could have said that in the building. But he didn't want to say it in the building. He wanted to say it where everybody could hear it, because when he says it where everybody can hear it, now they can't weasel out of it. They can't just say, oh, it doesn't matter what Troy Aikman said. It don't matter what he said to us. No big deal. We're not going to worry about it. But when he said it to the media, and then the media went back and started watching film, that even Dan Orlovsky, who has done nothing but hate on the Dallas Cowboys, even Dan Orlovsky went back and looked at the tape and said, Troy Aikman is 100% right. And what can Dak Prescott do with this? Now, Dak is also 100% right. He's the leader of that team. He doesn't want to cause ruckus and division in the locker room. But you notice what he also did in the question before? He nuked those past players. He nuked CeeDee Lamb. He nuked anybody who's saying that those distractions, and what do these distractions have to do with anything? Because they are not the reason why we're winning or losing. But maybe they are, because now maybe we see the Cowboys have a mentality problem. And until Jerry Jones stops hiring the Barry Switzer coaching line, until he stops hiring coaches that he can control, coaches that he can tell them what to do with the players, until he stops hiring coaches like that, that mentality is not going to change. Dak can't change that mentality by himself. Dak can have that mentality, but Dak got to get some dogs in there with him. And right now, where I'm disappointed is, I love CeeDee Lamb, man. He's a great player. And I think he my problem with CeeDee Lamb, though, it's like if he's not getting force-fed, if he's not getting the ball, if he doesn't get to shine in the end zone, if he's not the star, it's like he doesn't perform the same. No, CeeDee, we need you to focus, bro. We need you to focus. We need you to focus, and you need to play hard whether you're getting the ball or not. That's what you need. And so Dak nuked him. Yep, let him know. He nuked him. He wants to keep the locker room together, but he nuked him. I don't want y'all to do this because, see, and that's why I say that article, that's the one I'm telling my team, trash. Don't look for excuses to fail. Excuses, all they are reasons to fail. Don't ever give yourself a reason to fail. So many people do that. They build in excuses to fail so that when they fail, they say, see, I told you I was going to fail. No. You find reasons to win. That's what coaches do. They motivate players and they help them to dig inside and find reasons to win, even when the odds are against you. No, you find a reason to win. You find something to latch on to. You find something to say, we're not losing this one. I'm telling y'all, no, I wouldn't have lost. I wouldn't have lost that last home game in Dallas. I wouldn't have lost that last game. If I'd lost that last game, I mean, the quarterback would have won. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions. The quarterback would have been hurt. The running backs would have been hurt, or I would have been hurt. But I'm going to leave it on the field on that day. You're not going to come up in here and give us a fourth loss at home. See, we don't know how to make these players dig in. And a lot of them are too divish. They become divas. I'm telling them. Couldn't play on my team. Take all them gold chains off. Take all them gold chains and earrings. Take all that nonsense off. Until you start winning, you stop dressing like winners. Get on this field and play. That's their problem. They don't want to get hit. They don't want to get their clothes dirty. They don't want to mix it up. Got to go out here and do what you got to do. If no one wants to see you, then you aren't going to be there. So you don't have to worry about it. Man, I'm telling you something. People, they want to be a star, but they don't want to be a star. Man, miss me. Man, it's a blessing to do what these guys are doing. Tours have been hampering around the league for years. It's nothing. Happening around the league for years. Exactly, it's nothing. Yes, superstar. Chiefs have tours, by the way. Dak said it has nothing to do with winning, and they all know it has nothing to do with winning or losing. Michael Irvin had the distraction of being in the courtroom. Boy, you better tell him I told him last night, Spider-Man, about that infamous White House. Man, I'll never forget in the middle of the summer, here comes Michael Irvin walking up in there in a mink coat and sunglasses and still went out and won. Man, those players had all kinds of problems, all kinds of things they were doing, but they still won the game. I'll be laughing sometimes, my sons now in the workforce, and they be talking about people they be calling in because, they got a hangnail or something on their hand, and or they didn't feel good. And I was telling my sons, I said, boy, y'all don't understand where I come from, man. I come from an era of staying out all night, staying out to 5 o'clock in the morning, going to work at 6 o'clock. I mean, man, we were just built different back in the day. And so we got to do something about it. It's kind of funny, Dre Recruiter. I was laughing that he called Troy Aikman Troy Fake or whatever his name is. I mean, but you know what? We're going to excuse Turpin. Turpin got some stuff to learn. Nisi pointed it out. He the same one that threw that party. He the same one that threw that party last year, the playoff party before they win the game. You typically throw the party after you win the game. So, you know, he still got some growing to do. Nisi said that's the difference between the 2024 88 and the 1990s 88. The Beast. Yes, no doubt. Things you haven't changed or things you haven't chosen. Woo, boy, I love that no cap. Torres says excuses are tools of the incompetent. Every time. No Micah Sunday. We're gonna talk about that next. No Micah. Let's talk about that. So we've talked about the storylines. Let's talk about the injury report. So a lot of this injury report is nothing new. It's nothing new when we look at this injury report. So when we look at the injury report, we already know that DeMarcus Lawrence, Brandon Cooks, and they're talking about they're going to come back. I've been hearing November the 3rd. So the problem is with Micah Parsons is he was trying to come back. But those high ankle sprains are very, very sensitive. And so because he has not practiced, he has been ruled out. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Micah Parsons isn't an issue in a game like this. We beat the Pittsburgh Steelers without Micah Parsons. They can tell y'all anything they want to about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do y'all know the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-2? They always say we don't beat winning teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-2. And what we did to their running game, no one has done it to that running game since. So we did a number on them. And Micah Parsons was not in that game. We need to understand something. Micah Parsons is a pass rushing specialist. He's not a run stopping specialist. So not having Micah Parsons in this game, it's not that big of a deal. What is a problem in this game is if Eric Kendricks is not playing, because y'all might think that what happened last week is that the week before last, you may be thinking that what happened is that they whooped the Dallas Cowboys defense. Well, let me ask you a question. How does a team typically play? How does a team typically play with their backup quarterback? How does a team typically play? Do we not realize that Eric Kendricks is the quarterback of the defense? And without the quarterback on defense, that also is a problem. And so the issue is what we need to be hoping for is that Eric Kendricks plays. Because if Eric Kendricks doesn't play, then we are going to have a problem. Because it's him who gets everybody in the places where they need to be. It's him. I'm looking to see. John Machota says Micah Parsons and Deron Bland have been ruled out. Not a problem. Not a problem. The reason being is that it looks like Kalen Carson will be back. If Kalen Carson is back, and I think we could even survive without Kalen Carson. But if Eric Kendricks is out, I'm worried. I'm worried. Because he is the quarterback of the defense. And you can tell last week, I mean, they were just discombobulated. They're out of place. It's like they didn't know what was going on out there. So Eric Kendricks has been Mike Zimmer on the field. He knows this defense like the back of his hand. That's one of the reasons why they brought him in. So if Eric Kendricks is not playing, that's who we need to be worried about. And from everything I'm seeing, he's battling a shoulder. He's battling a shoulder injury. So they're saying he's questionable. I saw some of the practice reports. Light practice, I think it was for him. Kalen Carson has actually been practicing. So I'm not worried about Bland. I mean, hadn't had him all year. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Micah Parsons because he's really been ineffective against these teams running at the Cowboys. It's not like they're playing him at linebacker. Where I'm worried is Eric Kendricks. And so if Eric Kendricks is not playing, boy, I'm going to tell y'all something. We definitely better have time of possession. We better have time of possession. We better have it. Yeah, no Mike on Sunday for sure. Torres Carson, you're giving Divine 9 facts. Robert, it just came out. Yeah, we kind of figured he wasn't going to play. I got to disagree, man. You got to put Purdy under pressure like the Chiefs did, like the Vikings did. But watch this, no cap. I'm not disagreeing with you on putting pressure on Purdy. But watch what Kyle Shanahan does, because everyone got the blueprint from Kyle Shanahan. If Brock Purdy, and we're going to talk about it on Sunday night, and we're going to talk about it on Monday evening. If Brock Purdy throws the ball more than 15, and I'll give him a max of 20. If he throws the ball more than 20 times, I promise you, the Dallas Cowboys won the football game. The Dallas Cowboys won that football game. You know why? Because if Purdy has to throw 20 times, that means that the run wasn't successful. And if you go back and look at what the New Orleans Saints did, they ran the ball 40 plus times. The Ravens, 40 plus times. So the blueprint is out on the Dallas Cowboys. You know how you beat them? Kyle Shanahan is smart. He's not going to put that ball in Purdy's hand unless he has to. And when he puts that ball in Purdy's hand, he's going to make it count. He's going to make it count. He's going to make sure that Purdy will have wide receivers running wide open because he's going to establish that run to set up that play action. So I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, they got to put pressure on Purdy if he's stepping back to pass. But how are you going to put pressure on him if he's not stepping back to pass? So Kyle Shanahan, because I'm going to tell you, that's how I would play the game. I mean, the running backs that the San Francisco 49ers have, we thought we saw some problems with the Detroit Lions. They're better than the Detroit Lions running team. I mean, what is it? Jordan Mason, he's second in the league. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they stopped him last week. We don't have a Kansas City Chiefs defense. I mean, we definitely better stop fooling ourselves with that. We're not even close. We're not even close. We're not even close to them as it pertains to that defense. And so sometimes we got to be careful because people start saying, well, the Dallas Cowboys, all they have to do is play the same game plan that the Kansas City Chiefs play. You got to have the players. I mean, if you don't have the players, you don't get to run. You don't get to play it like they played it. I was trying to see something here in the box score. Let's see. 12, 24, 30. Watch this. Let me show you something, no cap. So you want to know why Jared Goff absolutely destroyed the Dallas Cowboys? Look at this stat. Look at this Russian. They ran the ball 35 times. 12. 6 to Reynolds, that's 30. James, 31. Goff ran 3 times. I guess we could count that. 31. 34. Sion Vaki, 35. 36. They ran the ball 36 times. You think Kyle Shanahan's not going to run it more? Kyle Shanahan's going to run it more. Kyle Shanahan is going to run if the Dallas Cowboys show they can't stop the run. You thought you saw running? You thought you saw the Lions running? You ain't seen nothing yet. I won't be shocked. There'll be drives. Brock Purdy won't throw not one pass. I will not be shocked. Or drives where he won't throw but 2 passes. Because if that running game is successful, you're going to see that the 49ers will not only have one running back with 100+ yards, they're going to have 2 running backs with 100+ yards. Kyle Shanahan going to run this thing, bro. You watch what I tell you, no cap. Look at this. Look how many times Jared Goff threw the ball. 25 times. Do you know some of those runs? I mean, do you realize some of those throws, they didn't even have to throw those? They just got to the point they were showing out because the Cowboys actually didn't stop them running. I mean, they were literally showing out. Jared Goff didn't even have to throw it 25 times. Jared Goff could have literally only thrown the ball also 20 times. And they still would have beat the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. I'm telling you, you're not going to have to worry about it, no cap. Kyle Shanahan, he's smart. He knows that Brock Purdy ain't got his weapons. He's not going to put this game in jeopardy in Brock Purdy's hands. Now, the Dallas Cowboys would love to force it to be in Brock Purdy's hand. And that's why one of the earlier guys was saying that force Purdy to beat you. How? 8-man front. Well, that 8-man front better be stopping the run. They definitely better be stopping the run. Because if they're not stopping the run, Brock Purdy mess around and hit you with that play action, man, I'm telling you. This game is going to be a chess game. And Kyle Shanahan, bro, I'm telling you, man, this dude built different, man. This dude built different. He prides himself on games like this. I'm going to show him I can win this game and Brock Purdy only throw 10 times. That's Kyle Shanahan, bro. This dude is different like that. He says, Maurice McGinsley said they aren't hearing you. Eric Kendrick is the quarterback on the target side of the ball, puts the guys in the right place. Hey, man, Maurice, you and I, we're on the same page. If Kendrick ain't there, don't matter. It's going to be a long day. Kendrick's not there, there's nobody to put Overshown in the right spot. There's nobody to do it. There's nobody to call to be able to read those defenses. Have that defense flowing in the right place, making sure they're staying in their gaps, staying in their assignments. Man, it's going to be a long day if Kendrick's not there, man. It's going to be a long day. Parsons' presence alone is huge. Well, I tell you, you say that, but look at what we did with him against Pittsburgh. Cowboys was crazy. And if you notice, there's a reason why, no cap, he has no sacks hardly this season. I think they said he had 2. He's been ineffective. They've had tight ends chipping him. They've had running backs chipping him. They've been running at him. They've been running against him. I mean, when you look at Micah Parsons' stats across the board, I mean, at this point, nobody's been afraid of him. That's why you've been hearing this rally cry, this rally cry in the media, people talking about trade Parsons, because he's been virtually ineffective. And until the Dallas Cowboys stop the run, Micah Parsons will continue to be ineffective. And that's why, for me, I would rather him not play this game. Don't play him in a game to where he's already having problems in the run game. And one thing that the run game does to a pass rusher, the run game slows down pass rushers. Because now, if I get you in this mode of, man, I'm going to run this ball down your throat, see, now they can't do what they do best. They're always hesitating. Okay, I want to go to the quarterback, but what if they run? See, you get them in that mindset and you slow them down. That's how the Cowboys can slow down Bosa, if they can run the ball. But if the Cowboys can't run the ball, get ready. You're going to hear Bosa name all night. You're going to hear Porter name all night. Because if you can't be a threat in the run game, the pass rushers now, they're going to put you in passing positions the whole night because you can't run. They get the tee off. And so for the Cowboys, until they make Micah Parsons be effective again, because before he was, let me see here. Let me show you his stats, and then I'll go backwards. I had his stats from a few games ago, no cap, and I'll show you on the defense what Micah Parsons looked like. Let me see here. I'll just show you what he looked like, because I understand what you're saying, because his presence. Let me see. Let me go back. Okay. I thought I had it. Maybe I don't. Okay, look. So I want to show you. I had this before that game. Look at this. Week 1, they had 6 sacks against the Cleveland Browns. Micah Parsons played. Week 2, they had 1 sack, 6 pressures. If I'm not mistaken, That's the game where the Saints ran them off the field. You know what happened, no cap? They ran the ball down their throat. They got them on their heels. They made the pass rush ineffective. Look what happened week 3. 0 sacks, 5 pressures. Look what happened week 4. 1 sack, 12 pressures. Those are all Micah Parsons games. Teams figured out how to stop him. And one of the reasons why they figured out how to stop him is he's an undersized he's an undersized pass rusher. He's fast, but if you can put bodies on him. The guy for the New York Giants, before he got hurt, he was killing Micah Parsons. He was too big. He was too skilled. Micah Parsons could hardly do nothing with him. And so that's, in a sense, that's why you saw how Micah Parsons wound up in that scrum that he wound up in. But you'll notice something that happened when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers. He could have possibly been effective in that game. Why? Because we stopped the run. We stopped the run. And that's why you'll notice. Look at what happened. 3 sacks, 12 pressures. Why did that happen? We stopped the run. But Pittsburgh, they're nothing compared to your San Francisco 49ers, no cap. Pittsburgh run game, they got a better record. You know, they're a good team. But their run game, nah, they ain't the same, man. They ain't the same because they ain't got Kyle Shanahan calling them plays. So I'm very interested. I'm very interested of what's going to happen with them, the Cowboys, in this stopping this run game. But we'll look at some more as we keep going. Let's look at a couple of more things before I get out of here. I want to see if I can get to some more of these stats that I have for you for these keys to the game. And so let's see here. So we're looking at the injury report. And that's why I'm saying, as far as the injury report goes, I'm not concerned as much about Micah Parsons not playing, because I believe that even Kyle Shanahan is so smart that even if Micah Parsons was playing, he would neutralize him. And the way he would neutralize him is running the ball. That's how you stop any pass rusher. You run the ball. You stop them from what they do best. You make them think run first rather than pass first. And Micah Parsons, they put Micah Parsons in that mode. So, and let me see. Spider-Man says D-Laws misses a run defender. See, that's who we're really missing. See, he wasn't really that good as a pass rusher, but he's really good at stopping the run. And they're saying he's coming back November the 3rd. But, man, those Liz Frank injuries, I don't know, man. We might have to write him off. Jay Recruiter, they stand around and watch Parsons when he's out there. That's one of the things that Michael was talking about, because he was saying that he doesn't want to be the only one that's making plays. And so who can step up and take control of the defense if Eric Kendrick? Well, you saw what happened last week. I mean, Eric Kendricks is really that important. He really is. And I'm hoping that he can play. Chiefs have a great defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, this dude is no joke. If Purdy gets play action, then we have to look at Trey Dono and Hooker getting dragged to play. You called him Trey Dono. I almost said, who is Trey Dono? You're talking about Trey Diggs getting dragged or playing hero. I'm telling you, man. And I'm telling y'all, Kyle Shanahan is a different, man, this dude got a football player mentality. He likes to prove, I can win. I can win with what I got, Cap. I can win with it. Jay Recruiter says Zimmer has a winning record against Shanahan. Yes, he does. That was one of the reasons why they brought him in. Yes, he does. My only apprehension is, without Kendricks, he's got a hand tied behind his back. No need to put Mike in now and risk another injury. Yeah, I was saying, I didn't think they need to put him in. Yes, Bosa can play the run. He can play the run. But I'll tell you this, Steve White, you would much rather him play the run. Because if you can get him thinking run first, that's how you neutralize a pass rusher. So that's really what you want. You want him to play that run, because then you can catch him sleeping every now and then with a play action. You can catch him sleeping. They mind their lanes on that D. Yes, very disciplined. Very, very disciplined. So he's effective because they have to double team him. That part too. Yeah, Zimmer's here for this game. Yeah, I think Zimmer going to get up for it. He said the final Steve. Yeah, Pittsburgh has Darryl Washington. Yeah. How Diggs doing this year? Terrible. Diggs been terrible this year, man. But you know, Cap, you said it, I think you said it in one of the streams. See, Diggs always has been a risk taker, but the problem is what a lot of people don't understand about Trayvon Diggs. Not only is he coming off of a knee injury, but he wasn't that fast to begin with. He just had skill. I mean, he wasn't a burner. He had skill. But now when you hurt one of those knees, it takes away something that he already didn't have. So, that becomes pretty tough. And also I see on the injury report, they're saying Jordan Stevens, he's a guy that they've been trying to develop for a while. He's a wide receiver, turned tight end, very promising, highly skilled. Tore his ACL last year. Guess what he did? Tore his ACL again. And when we look at the injury report for the 49ers, the major ones they're reporting is Ayuk. I'm not going to call Deebo Samuel a scratch yet. Deebo Samuel practiced today. There's a chance that Deebo Samuel is going to play on Saturday. I don't know how effective he'll be, but it looks like he's going to play. And if he plays, that's a problem. It is going to be a San Francisco running game plan. Yeah, Spider-Man, it's going to be a problem. We have defensive back making business decisions. Call D. Yep. Oh, they going to run it. Hey, man. Y'all think Troy Aikman looked at that tape? Mike Shanahan looked at that tape. Kyle Shanahan looked at that tape. They'd all have looked at that tape together. They determined. They're saying, we'll beat y'all missing players. They coming with it. I'm telling you. They're going to punch the Cowboys in the mouth. The issue is the Cowboys going to punch back. Deebo Samuel might still play. I'm not knocking him out the game. George Kittle, they're talking about with a foot sprain, questionable. I think George Kittle is going to try to tough it out in the game. Jordan Mason, shoulder, no-brainer. I think he's going to play. If Zimmer can get the players to stay disciplined, yes, they're going to have to be very disciplined and patient. Mozzie needs to have a Giants game, no doubt. And Deebo and Kittle practiced last 2 games. Yes, I think they're playing. I think they're playing 80% sure. I am too. So, let's stop saying that these dudes is as wounded as people saying they are. I mean, I know McCaffrey is a huge blow. He is. I mean, McCaffrey, man, that boy's serious right there. He's serious. But they still got a master play caller, and they still got some great players on that team. So let's look at these offensive keys real quick. So when we look at the offensive keys, one of the things I think the Dallas Cowboys need to win this game is they need MVP Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has been playing pretty good, but Dak Prescott is going to have, I think he's already realized it, but he's just going to have to do more with less, man. He's going to have to do more with less. He got to get in that room with Mike McCarthy and tell him what he likes to call. Tell him what his favorite plays are, what he's most comfortable with. Get in there and look at that San Francisco 49er defense. See what it is, where some weaknesses are. Where are some places that you can exploit? But MVP Dak Prescott has got to show up. MVP Dak Prescott has got to show up. And I want to show you something that happened after the bye week last year. Dak Prescott after the bye week, and this is why I'm very interested to see what is Mike McCarthy going to dial up. He was 25 of 31, 80% completion, 304 yards, 9.8 yards average. He had 4 TDs. That one turnover we can deal with. This was Dak the game after the bye. He came out on fire. We need MVP Dak Prescott. We need MVP Dak Prescott. Nothing short of that is going to do. Nothing short of that is going to do. Because if Dak has an average game, we're done. Dak needs to have a super game. And I mean a super game. Can't be normal. And I think Dak realizes that. He can't be normal. he's going to have to be. I forgot about this. Let me pull this up while I'm talking. No, he's going to have to be MVP, Dak Prescott, because if he's not, they're done. He's done. And so this is a huge, huge game. Even though Dak got his money already. But Dak ain't satisfied with his money. Dak wants to prove he's worth that money. He wants to prove he's worth that money. And I appreciate the fact that Dak Prescott has a lot of pride like that. He has a lot of pride like that. And so Robert says Dak feeds off his success. If he's got help from the wide receivers and a little run game, yes. I mean, Colin Cowherd said it best. Dak Prescott with a run game is Patrick Mahomes. He's almost unbeatable. And that's why I don't understand to this day why Jerry Jones hasn't got him a run game. I mean, he's almost unbeatable with a run game. So we need, y'all, we need MVP Dak Prescott. We need MVP Dak Prescott. The next thing we need a CD Dak Prescott connection. No Cap says he needs to be Dak Allen. I think it was at Josh Allen and Dak combined. Yeah. He's gonna have to be on it, man. He's gonna have to be on it. And that's the bottom line. Dak's gotta be on it. We need, and also, as I said, we need the CD Dak connection. I want to show you what did CD Lamb look like after the bye week last year. I mean, you want to know why Dak Prescott killed it? 14 targets to CD Lamb, connected on 12. 158 yards receiving for CD Lamb. 13.2 yards average for CD Lamb. 2 touchdowns for CD Lamb. That's what we need right there. That's what we need. We need that connection back. Some kind of way. Some kind of way they got to get that connection back. Yeah, Jake needs to step up in this game as well. Yeah, Jake Ferguson. I think Jake Ferguson is hurt and they're not saying it. He seemed like he's missing a step. But Dak talked about that. There's a need for Jake Ferguson to also be back in this game is important. Spider-Man, we need to win the line of scrimmage both sides. No doubt. No doubt. Yes. Got to win the line of scrimmage. Goes without definitely saying we got to be able to keep Dak Prescott upright. Upright. So the trenches are going to be important. And I didn't put that in here. But yes, the trenches are going to be important. And that's why I think that the Cowboys, they're going to have to find schemes. Because the problem is, on that injury report, you notice Tyler Guyton was on there. Well, Guyton will be starting this week. Can y'all imagine Bosa on Guyton? Man, they better line a tight end up on that side. They better have Lipke in the backfield. They better come up with all kinds of blocking schemes. They're going to have to give Dak Prescott some time to throw the ball. So, yes, you're right. In order for this to work, he's going to have some time. So they got to win on that line of scrimmage. Yep, go back to your rookie mentality. If you're open, you'll get the ball. And it's funny that you say that. Because the next key, I feel, to them winning the game, spread the ball around again. Spread the ball around again. And what I mean by again is none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Jalen Tolbert was the star of that game. But I'll be honest with you. I don't want Jalen Tolbert to be the star of this game. I want Jalen Tolbert to be very involved in this game. I want Jalen Tolbert to make some big plays in this game. But I don't want Jalen Tolbert to be at the top of the leader card when it's all said and done. But I do want to see this. But I want to see CD Lamb at the top of this. And then I want to see Tolbert somewhere in there in second or third. But we need Dak Prescott to spread this ball around. He's going to have to get it around. And CD Lamb's going to have to be very patient. I think that they're going to have to get the ball in CD Lamb's hands. But I think they're going to have to be patient enough because anybody who knows Kyle Shanahan, his first order of business is to take away CD Lamb. That's his first order of business. He's already told his defensive coordinator, I promise you, don't you let CD Lamb catch a pass. I bet not see him catch more than 5 passes for more than 30 yards. I guarantee you he's been all over him. So it is going to be very important that the Dallas Cowboys spread this ball around. But we need to see CD Lamb at the top of this list if possible, because that means that they have found a way to get him open. That means that he's found a way to get him open, because I want them to go back to the game plan in that Pittsburgh Steelers game. I don't understand, why did Mike McCarthy go away from that game plan? I don't understand it. I mean, you had men in motion. You were running rub routes. I mean, you were doing all kinds of exotic plays. Then you got to Detroit, and someone said, just go straight up against Detroit. Nothing. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. Just straight up. What are we doing? Mike McCarthy, throw your playbook in the trash. Do what you did last year. Copy some other people's plays. It's a copycat league. Everyone does it. Find the best plays of teams that have been successful, and you get these players in positions to win. Get them in positions to catch these passes. Got to spread this ball around. And you know what? You say it's Spider-Man, he got to use his legs. I think they are afraid at this point to get Dak injured. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're not running him. And yes, you're right, Robert Benton. No penalties. It's going to be impossible for the Dallas Cowboys, but no penalties. No penalties. This could be a huge game for Turpin. It better be a huge game for Turpin. It better be a huge game for Turpin. Turpin can take the top off of a defense. And he's done it before against San Francisco. I mean, they need to really loosen them up. They need to really loosen them up. And I think that's one of the things I got on here. Let me see. Embrace the passing game. Let the pass set up the run. Talked about that before. But one of the other things that I was also saying is that, yes, the thing with Turpin is very important. The Cowboys are definitely going to have to do something with Turpin. Turpin on jet sweeps. Turpin. The Cowboys need to take at least 6 to 8 shots in this game. And I'm talking big shots. End zone, 40, 50 yards passing. I mean, they got to take some big shots, because if they don't take some big shots, they're never going to loosen up the defense. And if it's me, I'm coming out on the first drive. I'm going to light it up. And I'm not saying I'm going to pass it all the time, but I am going to get a shot in there. I mean, you got to pick your place. I mean, for me, with Turpin's speed, I've said it before, I got to take at least 2 shots per quarter. I have to at least shoot 2 shots per quarter. I got to always have the 49ers in the mindset of, at any moment, I'll just go downfield. If I get a second and 1 or a 2nd and 2, I'm going 4 down territory. Because if I'm a 2nd and 2, I'm taking a shot. I'm taking a shot down the field. If I get the ball on the 35, first down, I'm going to take my shot. I'm taking a shot down the field. I got to keep them loose. I got to keep those cornerbacks so they don't cheat. They don't try to cheat and get everything underneath. I got to keep them honest. I got to see if I can get Ferguson in the middle of that San Francisco 49er defense. I got to see if I can get him in the middle. I got to soften that thing up so that they can't just stop us with 4 down linemen. Because if they stop us with 4 down linemen on the run, oh, you can forget about it. It's going to be a long day. Because they're just going to drop 7 in the coverage. It's going to be a long day. You got to pull them out of that coverage. You got to make them start cheating down to run. You got to loosen them up some kind of way. So, man, this is going to be a very tough game. And so, Spider-Man, yeah, I think the issue is I think they don't want to get Dak hurt. What's going on, Freddie? What's going on? Robert said no stupid penalties, false starts, and drive killers. Man, like I said, I don't know. Cowboys, they're going to really concentrate, especially on the road. If Cook plays, I don't think they can sit Zeke because they need him for pass protection. Yes, I think they will need him in some pass protection. But hey, Dalvin Cook, man, I saw him out there with chains around his neck and tractor tires. I mean, maybe he can block too. So we're gonna see. Take away CD and Ferguson, Turbin, Tolbert. It's on you. Yep. And you know what? Hunter Lipke. They got to find a way to get him involved. Hunter Lipke. You got to find a way to get him involved. Hunter Lipke is too talented for the Cowboys not to be using him in offense. And as someone said earlier, it's in the trenches. This is why I say the Cowboys know that they got a problem up front with Guyton. So you're going to have to get somebody to help Guyton. You are. You just are. But the problem is you hold someone in to help you with Guyton. Then what happens with Guyton is now you take away a playmaker. See, now you take away a playmaker. But either way, they're going to have to figure out something. They're going to have to keep Dak upright if they're going to win this game. If the Niners lose this game, they will be 3 games from being left out of the playoffs. They've definitely been our kryptonite, Freddie. They've definitely been our kryptonite, so it would be good to win. Hurricane Jason said low-scoring game. You know what? I'm worried, though. If it's a low-scoring game, do the Cowboys win that game? Because to me, if it's a low-scoring game, that means somebody is dominating the time of possession. That means that somebody, see, the New York Giants, see, people don't understand. The New York Giants were actually, at least in my opinion, I don't think they were necessarily trying to beat the Cowboys as much as they were trying to make sure that the Cowboys were not going to mollywop them again like they did those 2 games in 2023. So they had a game plan, time of possession. So even if we get beat, the score won't be bad, and we'll still keep it in reach within 1 big play. And that's exactly what they did. They were literally within 1 big play of winning the game. 1 big play. If the plays he calls that wins the game, he throws that playbook in the trash. Yes. Throw that playbook he got right now in the trash. Mike does not seem to realize that other teams have figured out some of his plays. Yeah, I think Mike is still calling some of his old plays from the Green Bay Packers. I'd be interested to see how much Dak has before he has to get rid of the ball. Yep, how much time does he have? Throwing over the top of the defense takes time. But you know what, Spider-Man? I think what the Cowboys have got to be smart. So you said, I'm thinking that's you saying use his legs. So maybe I'm taking it wrong what you're saying. Maybe it's not Dak running the ball using his legs. But I do think one mistake they're making is that when you have problems with your pass blocking, one of the best things to nullify that? Bootlegs. Bootlegs. Roll Dak out. Dak throws really well on the run. Give him an option underneath. Give him an option over the top. Roll him out. Get him on the move. That's how you can nullify sometimes defenses that are very good at rushing the passer. You gotta design ways to get your offensive line out of harm's way if they're not that good at just straight up blocking, which I think is a problem for the Dallas Cowboys right now. Mike likes to play from the 90s. He should use Diggs as a wide receiver like Dion. You know what? Diggs can catch. He really can. I don't understand. I'm just not letting skillful players sit on the field. Sit on the bench. Not me. No Cap says Niners have a kid who made a huge play versus the Chiefs. Rookie wide receiver Jacob Cowing is coming up really fast. Oh yeah. And Kyle Shanahan, and he knows it too. I'm telling you, no Cap. You've been around this dude. You follow the 49ers closer than I do. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Man, this dude Kyle Shanahan, I love this dude's mentality. Man, he got an ego. This dude got an ego. This dude is actually saying in his mind, he's like these guys like Michael Jordan. Oh, okay, he like a Michael Jordan type of guy. Oh, okay, you think I can't beat you because I don't have Brandon Ayuk? If Debo don't play or Debo is kind of down in his health, man, this dude, Kyle Shanahan, said, man, I beat you with 4th and 5th string wide receivers. This dude different. This dude different. He going to make sure, though. He going to make sure that whatever shots, you mark my words, whatever shots Purdy takes, he going to make them count if that running game is working. But if that running game is not working, and we come back and we look at this box score, and Purdy has thrown the ball 35, 30, 35, 40 times, I'm pretty sure at that point the San Francisco 49ers has lost the game. Freddie says Texans defense, tight end Dalton Schultz again whining about the boys. Man, you better believe it. We talked about it yesterday, Freddie. Walks around the stadium on tours during players' workouts being distracting. And that's why now he thought he was a number one. He thought he was a top 5 tight end. Now they got him ranked in the 3rd tier. He wanted that top money. That's why I don't listen to nothing that he says. He was hurt that they didn't pay him what he wanted. And a lot of them players, you notice? A lot of them not nowhere contributing. Not anywhere. Number 60 going to hole a few times. Hey, man. Hey, and you know what? One of the best ways to help him, get some rollouts. Get him a tight end on that side. Kyle has to get Ricky Pearsall going, especially since he's unknown. I'm hoping he's good. We about to find out. We're about to find out. I'm telling you, Kyle Shanahan, he gonna use them tools. Hunter Lipke, future Hall of Famer. Man, I'm telling you, if they can get this dude involved right, and I'm afraid, man, just not looking in the future, but boy, Cowboys mess around and don't use this guy right, and he wound up leaving in a couple of years. Watch what you're going to see him do on another team. Hunter Lipke is talented, man. If any player gets distracted by fans walking, yep, exactly. But like I said, Dak Prescott said it best. Well, then, how do you not get distracted by 80,000 fans watching? Still worries me more than Guyton. Man, I don't know who it was, Jay Recruiter, but somebody said either this week or last week, they said he need to go back to the blacksmith. I had to catch on because it was steel. I had to catch on when they said blacksmith. But, man, this dude here, man, he has been getting his lunch ate. Not just left tackle. Man, yeah. Terrence Steele has been getting whooped. Whooped. Cowboys rush 30 times, they win. I'm with you. And if Dalvin Cook can come in and give this team just a little bit of spark, they'll be good. They'll be good to go. And if Rico Dowdle, and I'll tell you what I would do if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. Let me read a couple more comments here. K. Peart says, O-line not handling business at the line. O-line not handling business at the line. No, they're not. They're not handling. I heard Dalvin Cook is going to play. Yeah, we mentioned that confident welcome. Yeah, we mentioned that. That was our breaking news at the beginning. Players complaining about fans and Jerry hanging around the stadium when they are working out or practice tells me those players are mentally weak. And if that is the case, oh yeah, exactly. We talked about it yesterday. That was our whole topic. I missed you on there because come on, man. This is sports. It's entertainment. This ain't. I can't even say it's not high school football because some of these high school football teams are playing in front of thousands of people. There's something wrong. And so Jerry needs to really, I was saying this yesterday, Freddie, that the Cowboys might need to have a symposium on any potential players they're looking at. You need to understand what it requires to play for the Dallas Cowboys. If you like Tony Pollard and you're more comfortable losing because your mental and physical and spiritual health is better, I don't want you on this team. Raise your hand now. People don't understand. Winning doesn't require comfortability. Winning always requires uncomfortability because you're making a sacrifice. You're doing things that you wouldn't normally do. You're playing. Man, people don't understand a lot of times what these championship teams do, especially when they have these championship players. They play out of their mind. Just watch any championship team, and they're really good, but they got a really good player. They play out of their minds, man. People don't understand. Jordan had Pippen. Pippen was really good. But Michael Jordan played out of his mind a lot of times. That's what great teams and teams who have great players do, man. They play out of their doggone mind. Like that year that Tom Brady came back against the Atlanta Falcons. He played out of his mind. I bet it was an out-of-body experience. I mean, that's what happens when you have great players. And so, I mean, it's got to be mind over matter, man. It does. Dallas should give Michael Thomas. No cap. Do you know I said this at the beginning of the season? I still don't understand why the Cowboys haven't called Michael Thomas. Especially Michael Thomas. Man, this dude was eating up the league. He's a big body wide receiver, and that's actually what Dak Prescott likes. Dak Prescott likes wide receivers with a wide catch radius. And the problem is with the Brandon Cooks, with the Kevontae Turpins. Now, Turpin, he can work with because he can fly. So you can throw it up and let him run up under it. But when you think about that Green Bay game last year when the defensive back came from behind Brandon Cooks and intercepted the ball over the top of him, you don't get that with a bigger bodied wide receiver. You don't get that. And so Dak Prescott, and I'm sure other quarterbacks, they like big bodied wide receivers, wider catch radius. I don't understand why the Cowboys haven't called Michael Thomas. I mean, he seems to be the kind of player they like. A player who is kind of, he's had some issues. He's very cheap. You can kick the tires on him. There's no high risk. I don't understand why they hadn't called him. Freddie noticed they talked about the tour being a distraction, but not Jerry landing a helicopter. Man, these players, I'll tell you something else. Woo, boy, Spider-Man. Boy, when Zach Martin get manhandled, golly, boy, what kind of day is it? I'm hoping that he's had a couple of weeks off and Zach is going to be a lot better this week. Scheme. Yes, K, scheme. That's why this is going to be a lot on Mike McCarthy. If I was Jerry, I'd hold a team meeting and tell the players, look, fans have the right to tour the stadium anytime as I have the right to be here at any time if that keeps you from doing your job. That's it. And that's why I say I equate this to somebody working at a job and it's just something you don't like at the job. It's not a distraction. It's kind of one of them jobs, you'd be like, man, I wish they got the shake machine over here. I wish they'd move the shake machine over there. Big deal. Don't stop you from doing your job. I mean, just crazy nonsense. And so, yes, we mentioned earlier too, the Cowboys have got to stop the penalties. They got to stop the penalties in order to keep this team in the game. And one of the things I want to look at real quick is, when you look at the running game, because I keep going back to this Pittsburgh game. It's the best game they've had. And look at what they did. Rico Dowdle. And I do believe that Rico Dowdle needs to be the starter for this game, unequivocally. Zeke moved to the third because we know Deuce Vaughn will not be suiting up. Move Cooks to the second running back. Hunter Lipke, I'd like to see him more involved on the short yardage rather than Zeke. I know some may think that's blasphemy. I don't want to see Dak Prescott running vertically. I want them to get him out of that pocket. Get him out of that pocket. Buy himself some time. Get him some on-the-run throws. Guys going in motion and then he runs out of the pocket, then he hits them as they come to the sideline. I mean, we got to get more creative with the play calling. And I would like to see Kevontae Turpin. They didn't use him in the Pittsburgh game like this, but I have heard some people talking about that the 49ers may be suspect of some of those jet sweeps. And I would rather see Kevontae Turpin on those jet sweeps rather than CD Lamb. No Cap says at this point, 49ers and the boys should join forces and win the bowl so both fan bases can be happy. I'm telling you, man, both of them, man, neither one of them in the 49ers have gotten way further than the Cowboys, but neither one of them have won the Super Bowl since the 90s. So they're both due. And those 49ers, man, no cap, I just got to give it to you. Y'all been a lot closer than we have. I mean, I don't know. The Dallas Cowboy fan base, with some of the success y'all have had, the Dallas Cowboy fan base would probably be elated. Being at Mickey D's saying people keep coming in and asking for. Exactly. People keep coming in and asking for fries. I mean, that's what you're there for. That's what you're there for. Spider-Man says, we have a big body receiver. They always talk about getting the young guys reps. Get Flournoy out there. I've been screaming this. I would definitely, even if it's not Jalen Tolbert, I'm going to put Flournoy in front of Jalen Brooks. I'm putting Flournoy in front of Jalen Brooks. I think Flournoy, Dak Prescott likes Flournoy a lot better than Jalen Brooks as it applies to trust, getting open, what he can do once he gets the ball in his hand. I would love to see Flournoy get a little bit more time on the field. K says if they can't open it up for CD, what make you think MT gonna get some of that? MT. Oh, Michael Thomas. Well, what I'm saying is you will have both CD and Michael Thomas out there, and if Michael Thomas can be even a glimpse of what he used to be, it's gonna open it up for one or the other. Because what CD needs somebody to relieve the pressure off him. And at this point, we haven't found nobody to do it consistently. Now, Jalen Tolbert has shown us some flashes. But I really consider Jalen Tolbert as a big body third receiver or a bigger body third receiver. Maybe he's someone that you put in the slot. And then maybe you move Flournoy outside. And then you have Turpin as another one of the slot guys. So that's what I would like to see. That's what I would like to see. If I'm trying to arrange this. Nancy says, can we stop running up the middle? I hope there is some creativity. I don't understand why they run up the middle. I don't think we have the type of running backs that are made for running up the middle. Because if you think about even Dalvin Cook's success comes off of running the outside runs. So maybe this week, this is what they bring Dalvin Cook in for. I mean, I think Rico Dowdle would probably be more successful in some of those middle type runs. Spider-Man says, sorry for the double post, YouTube. Yeah, I'm telling you. So, the Cowboys, I mean, they really got they got some work to do. And so as we get ready to close it out, the next thing I would like to see the Cowboys do. No turnovers. Dak Prescott has got to be patient and not force the ball to CeeDee Lamb, especially in the red zone. He's been doing a lot of that. Stop forcing the ball in the red zone. If it's not there, man, it's not there. Find somebody else. Because CD has shown something. He's not going to contest those. He's not going to contest those passes. He's just not going to contest them. I mean, for CD, if they're not how he wants them, jump ball. If you're not throwing him a jump ball, he's not going to contest it. So Dak's going to have to say and do a better read and say, okay, if he's not there, I'm going to hit somebody else. Especially down there in the red zone. No more red zone turnovers, man. No more red zone turnovers. And not only are they going to no more turnovers, they actually need to get some turnovers themselves. I mean, if they're going to have a hope against the 49ers, I mean, they're going to have to turn Brock Purdy over. Man, they got to turn Brock Purdy over. Brock Purdy had 3 turnovers last week. And I know we're not the Kansas City Chiefs defense, but we got to turn him over. And I'm not saying we can't win without turning him over, but we got to turn him over because it gives us a better chance of winning. We got to turn him over. And we've already talked about, man, they got to stop the run. Because I'm telling you, I don't care anything we've said this whole night. If they don't stop the run, the game is over. The game is over. We're not facilitated to score at this point. We're not facilitated to score 35 points unless we really, really get it going. And I will say, though, if you think about the Pittsburgh game, because I keep going back to that. So Dak Prescott got a little greedy in that game and threw a couple of ill-advised interceptions, but they probably could have scored 30 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They could have scored 30-plus points on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Flanoy. Are you talking about Flanoy's Nisi when you say he's a 2024 number 88? Because I'm telling you, I really do think that Flanoy is going to be the next Dez Bryant. I really do. I really do. This guy is this guy is nice. The Cowboys just got to figure out ways to get him in. But you know what's crazy? Flanoy is actually on the injury report. He's got an ankle issue issue going on. Spider-Man says Span Ford is like 12 feet tall. Use him in the red zone. Span Ford. Okay, I'll have to look that. Yeah. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the other tight end I think they've been using. I know what you're talking about. Yes. You know, the Cowboys, one of the things they're going to have to do is they need to use everything they have. And that's the thing that is kind of bothering me, that they don't seem to use everything they have. Because you have to. You know, if Jerry didn't go out and get you players, well, there's no use in complaining about it. Well, you use what you got. You use what you got. That's what you have to do. You look at your roster and say, okay, Jerry's not going to get us any free agents. He's not going to make any trades. So who are the best players that we have? Who are the best athletes we have? I still don't understand why we letting Trey Lance stand over there with a clipboard. I don't know who need to be knocked upside the head to say, we're not going to pay you $5 million as you just stand over here. We're not going to take you out of the quarterback position. But I think we can use you in some plays to where we can even use your quarterback skills. Put this man in the backfield and make him a threat of, okay, we're going to pitch the ball to Trey Lance. He going to throw it or he going to run it. I mean, you got to do something with every player that you have, especially if you're the Dallas Cowboys. Gee, is he really is he really injured or the Cowboys playing? Let's hide the player again. I just heard he got some kind of shoulder issue. I don't know if it means he's not going to play, but he's on the injury report. He's on the injury report. And he better not be the one they're sitting down so that Dalvin Cook can play this week. I haven't heard that, but that better not be the case. And so finally here, y'all hold on just a second. Finally here, another thing I think they need to do is we're going to look at special teams. Let's look at special teams real quick. And when we're talking about special teams, I think for sure something the Cowboys did last week, I think they need to do again. If y'all noticed, last week, what started happening was Kevontae Turpin actually started running the ball out of the end zone, and they started faking that end around sometimes that people run on the kickoffs. They started faking that. And so I think one of the things the Cowboys are going to have to do, because I think their special teams is one of the strongest things they have going, but I think they're going to have to find ways to get that special teams involved, because teams are saying they're willing to take it out of the 30 rather than letting Kevontae Turpin return it. And so some of them are kicking it in the end zone. So if they're not going to kick it out of the end zone, but they're going to kick it in the end zone, well, one of the things I think that they're going to have to do is that Kevontae Turpin is going to have to run that ball out of the end zone. And he did really good. And with this new dynamic kickoff, it's actually conducive to running the ball out of the end zone. because they can't start until you catch the ball. So it's still a good opportunity to get the Dallas Cowboys not only some better field position, but he could break one of those. So I think that definitely needs to happen as we talk about their special teams. Brandon Aubrey has been in jury duty all week. You know, that's kind of been something that's flying under the radar. People have been talking about it. But it's also one of these reasons why, if you ask me, I don't want the game to come down to field goals. Because even though I know Brandon Aubrey is, like I always say, he can kick it from the parking lot. You know, they've taken some time away from him on the field. So I would rather him just be relegated to kicking extra points. Nisi said, use Trey like we did Cedric Wilson. Line him up at wide receiver and let him throw a pass. I've been saying it. I don't understand why we're not using him. And then when they get afraid that he's going to go out there and get the pass, how about he run it? How about lining him up sometimes on a 4th and 2 and say, hey, we're going to line you up at quarterback. Just find the crease and go. Just find it and go. Oh, we'll just run a quarterback sweep on 4th and 2. 3rd and 1. Dak got his money. He ain't threatened. I'm sure he'd much rather Trey Lance run the 3rd and 1s or whatever the case may be than him. Let him run them. But we got to find ways to use every piece of talent that we have on this football team. It just doesn't make sense not to do it. Especially when you know already that there's no reinforcements coming. I mean, Jerry keeps telling everybody and everybody's mad. You know, I laugh at some of these channels. Every time somebody comes free, ooh, Cooper Kupp is free. Cowboys not getting Cooper Kupp. Cowboys not getting Cooper Kupp. They're not picking up Cooper Kupp's salary. They're not going to do it. So you might as well use what you got or direct snap and throw. Yes, Robert, I'm telling you, I don't understand why are we letting this guy sit on the bench making $5 million when we know he may run a 4.6 40, but he runs a fast 4.6 40. He got football speed. Who better to do it against them? Wow. Where No Cap at? No Cap, you on here? What do you think if the Cowboys trotted out Trey Lance and started running some plays with him against the 49ers? and he just come out there and start killing them. Man, let me tell y'all something. If Mike McCarthy trot Trey Lance on that field on Sunday night, and they throw that ball out to Trey Lance, and Trey Lance throws a touchdown in this game, or Trey Lance runs a touchdown in this game, I might have to start campaigning for Mike McCarthy to be signed again. I may have to start campaigning. Man, because that right there, boy, would that not be irony. Golly. Nisi said, I have a few clipboards. I'm coming to the games and still on sideline. I could use $5 million. Man, I'm not letting this dude stand out there and make $5 million. He's too talented. Nisi, what you think about what Spider-Man said? Because I am telling you, man, if Mike McCarthy bring Trey Lance out for some plays. Hey, man, I'm just telling you. I might be campaigning, man. Because that would be some serious creativity. Serious creativity. Nisi said Mike is petty like that. I say do it. Woo, boy, I'm telling you, I'm extra petty. Because I know I'm doing it. Like I said, don't let this man rot on the bench. I mean, he's too talented. We know he's not going to be the quarterback. So let's get into these final takeaways we've talked about, and we can add a couple more in there too that y'all talked about. I forgot to add this part about the offensive line. That's very important. Got to have this offensive line working. Nothing's going to work. But one, and in no particular order, Dak and CD need to go off. They need to go off. Dak also needs to spread the ball around. Yes, let's do whatever we can to scheme CD open, whatever we got to do. But at the same time, don't force anything to CD. Don't force anything to him. Nothing to him. The Dallas defense holds the 49ers under 100 yards. They have to. They have to. They cannot let the 49ers get more than 100 yards. They can't do it. If they do, it's going to be a long day. They have got to stop them from getting 100 yards. The Cowboys will force 2 turnovers by Purdy. They need to do that. They need to force turnovers because if you look at what the Dallas Cowboys did last year, what really balanced them out was their defense was not only turning teams over, they were scoring touchdowns on defense. The Cowboys at least need to get some turnovers. Spider-Man says you can gamble and make him the second QB and make rush your emergency. Cowboys have $25 million in cap space currently, but according to Jerry and Steven, have said they're going to let that money roll over into next year's cap to resign Michael. Oh, yeah, no doubt. They've already made their mind up. They're not going to do anything. And that's why I say, Freddie, if you know they're not going to do anything, well, then you need to do something. See, that's something that this generation doesn't understand. You don't sit around and complain about what you don't have. When you know what you have, and when you know that there's no reinforcements coming, that's what should bring the most creativity out of you. Because sometimes people, they just simply give up because they don't have, I don't have playmakers. Maybe you don't have the plays. Maybe you don't have the plays that will turn guys on your team into playmakers. Maybe there's someone that we're just not using right. How do we maximize Hunter Lipke? How do we maximize Ryan Flanoy? How do we maximize Trey Lance? How do we maximize? Let's see what we're going to do this week with Dalvin Cook. How do we maximize these players that we have? Because Jerry is basically telling us, we can either sit, as a team, they can just sit there and complain if they want to. You can sit there and complain if you want to. It's not gonna change anything. Pouting doesn't change anything. It's when you get up and you say, this is what we have. Y'all ever heard that term? We all we got. Man, y'all don't understand something. Freddie, I'm telling you, Freddie, you said this too. You'd have that defense on fire. I'm telling you as a head coach, man, I had that team running through a brick wall. Boy, I had that team so fired up, man, wouldn't nobody want to see us. Man, I turned this whole team against the media, the opponents, and even Jerry Jones in a good way, not a bad way, not to where they disrespecting the man. I tell them, man, we all we got. Our owner has said this is all we getting. So we better do something with what we have in this room or we go home and do nothing. Man, we all we got. The only way we win in this game is that every single man in this room, all the way down to the ball boy, boy, we're gonna have to do the best we can. We're gonna have to do the best we can. We're gonna have some people today and for the rest of this season. We're gonna be calling on you to do some things that you never thought you were gonna be doing. You're gonna be playing in this game. If you're in this room right now, you better get ready. You better be ready to be called at a moment's notice for a play. We're using everything we got. It's us against the owner. It's us against the media. And that team that we're about to play today, we got to take it all out on them. We're going to take this out on the team we're playing today. The man that's standing across from you, you better let him know you played today. They might beat us, but they're not going to beat us. We giving it all we got. Man, you got to do this. Spider-Man says, I go back to what was said about Don Shula. He could take his and beat yours and take yours and beat his. That's it. That's it. Coaching, baby. That's it. You either have playmakers or you get it together and you play like a team. That's it. We all we got. Every man in this room. Every man, every woman. I'm talking about down to the girls who squirting water in the mouth of the men. Everybody. Boy, we giving it all we got. We giving it all we got. We leaving it on the field today. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling them, K. Us versus everybody. Us versus everybody. I'm telling them. You gotta start telling folk, man. It's like Freddie been talking about the last few times he's been on here. Motivation. It's not just about motivating men and women. But motivation is also pointing out to men and women everything you need to succeed. It's inside of you. It's inside of you. What does your heart look like? What do you do when the odds are against you? What do you do when everybody say you can't do it? Do you believe them? Or do you make it your business to prove everybody wrong who say that you can't do it? What do you do? Some folks, they only want to do something when the chips are up, but what do you do when the chips are down? I tell them, don't nobody get to talk about nobody in this locker room. Nobody. Your own mama better not talk about nobody in this locker room. Your mama talk about somebody in this locker room. And everybody in this locker room, they going against your mama. Not saying we gonna beat your mama up. I'm not saying we gonna disrespect your mama. We gonna tell everybody your mama wrong. And we gonna tell you, talk to your mama. You let your mama understand something. She don't get to talk about nobody in this locker room. We one for all and all for one. We win together, we lose together. We live together, we die together. I'm telling y'all. You gotta learn, we gotta learn, man. Like, I understand something that Freddie is saying. Because what good leaders do, they point out to people what they're capable of. They tell them when they're falling short, you're too good for this. You're too good for this. No, you can do exactly what I'm asking you to do. No, I don't. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can do it. And you're going to do it. And we're going to put you in position to do it. And when we call on you to do it, you're going to do it. And you're going to succeed. And we're going to succeed. You got to tell people. You got to tell them. Freddie says, I just wish I could talk to players before this game. I promise you they will come out foaming at the mouth. Man, me too, man. I'm telling you. Mike McCarthy got everything he needs. Y'all hear how they been talking about us? We got past players who not even on this team no more. Talking about they feel better losing than winning. I be calling them by name. Tony Pollard said he 1-6 and he feel better being 1-6 than 12-5. What? We don't want men like that on this team. We don't want men who can't embrace the situation, can't embrace the attention, don't have pride in being a Dallas Cowboy. We don't want men like that on this team. I don't care if you're making $1 or $1 million. We here to win. Spider-Man says that speech you just made, I just taped my ankles again. I'm telling Spider-Man. I'm telling them. I'm telling them. We winning this game. I'd have won the last game. I'd have told them, Detroit not coming up in here. They might beat us in Detroit. They will not beat us in Dallas. We will not disappoint these fans. We will not have 4 losses in a row home. We're not going to do it. They'll tell them needs to keep each other motivated on the field. Dap each other up after play good or bad. I'm like Dak Prescott next play. Made a mistake. Next play. Next play. We didn't do it on the last one. We're going to get it on this one. Next play. You got to talk to people situationally. Hey, guys, it's 3rd and 3. We need this. We need this. Let's get this. Let's put our offense on the field. Let's get off this field. We're going to make this stop. I promise you we're going to make this stop. Man, we got to do it. We got to do it because there's no reinforcements coming. We all we got. Jerry done told us. Let's make the media look bad. Everybody keeps saying we're not going to win more than 6 games. We're going to double that. We're going to win 12 games. Nobody gets to dictate what we do. Nobody gets to tell us we can't win. We got to tell folk. We got to tell the team. Because right now what I see in this locker room, I see every man for himself. And that's why I'm disappointed in C.D. Lamb when they asked him, do you think that these people coming by the tours are a distraction? He said, sometime that's all I'm going to say. I wish I'd have been Dak Prescott. His locker next to mine, I'd have been all in his face. Why you tell them that? Why did you just tell them sometimes? You weren't saying that when you signed that $30 million deal, that $31 million. You weren't saying that then. I don't see you saying it's a distraction when you catching touchdowns. I don't see you saying it's a distraction when everyone's cheering for you. I'd have told him. We can disagree in this locker room when nobody else is around. But the one thing we will not do here, we will not disagree in the media. We got enough attention coming to us, and we don't need them coming to us talking about Dak Prescott said this and CD said that, because I'm going to let you know up front. You go out there speaking that nonsense in the media, and I'm going to destroy you when they ask me the question. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott did. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to reveal to them your heart is the one that's terrible. Your heart, you have the bad mentality. You don't get distracted when there's 80,000 people out there, but you're distracted when 2 people knock on the window. Shame on you. I'd have told CD, I'd have tell you this. He'd have had to bring his boys on me. Because I'd have told him, you ain't talking like that no more around here. I better not hear you open your mouth to say anything to disparage this team, this owner, or this locker room. You let them folk out there do that. But there'll be nobody in here doing that. Man, people don't understand something. Jerry Jones is our owner. If I'm on that team, he a terrible GM. But I bet not hear you tell nobody that. I bet not hear you tell one person Jerry Jones is a terrible owner. I bet not hear you say it. If I do, mean you're going to have problems. You think you getting no passes now? I'll throw you out. I'll throw it to the crowd before I throw it to you. Man, I'm telling you, these people couldn't play. They couldn't play with me. They could not play with me. I don't play that kind of stuff. CD, it wasn't a distraction when you were breaking team records last year. Niecy, they couldn't play with me. They couldn't play with me. I would be all on these folk. Don't you dare do anything to feed the media from this locker room. You let them folk out there do the talking, but ain't gonna be no talking in here. We all for one, we one for all and all for one. Oh, and by the way, if Troy Aikman says something, Michael Irvin says something, Emmitt Smith, any of those Super Bowl winners, you take it as constructive criticism, and don't you dare go tell nobody what they said bothered you. You tell them it motivated you. You tell them that they know what they're talking about. They have credibility. They got skins on the wall. They won championships. We're going to get where they have been. Those are brothers too. No. We're not doing any down talking of anybody on this team. Get mad, get glad. I don't care what it is. We are a team. This entire franchise. Yep, we know. We know Jerry Jones. We don't always agree with him. He owns the team. He's paid us. He's taking care of us in ways people don't understand. He's doing these things for us. He's also paying us to do a job. We know who he is, but he's paying us the job. He's paying us to do a job because he's saying, I know who you are. Go out there and win the game. I tell him, shut up. I'm not having none of this nonsense. Dak Prescott needed me to, he needed me to write him a speech. He nuked him. He did a good job. He did a good job because he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But behind them closed doors, boy, I'd be even more on them. I'd be even more on them. Not playing this stuff with you, CD. You're a $30 million man, and you talking about distractions. I bet you when you cash that check, it's not a distraction. I bet you when he cashed that check, he ain't talking about it's a distraction. Man, miss me with this stuff. That's going to do it for me. Oh, and let me give y'all my prediction. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the chat. My prediction, I actually got two. I got two predictions. If the Dallas Cowboys, if they do everything we've talked about, if the Dallas Cowboys go off, if CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys go off, if they stop the run, if they spread this ball around, if they can get Purdy uncomfortable, if we stop the run, that means now they will have to rely on Purdy, like No Cap is talking about. Then we got to get him off the mark. We got to make him make some mistakes, make him beat us, stop the run, make him beat us. If we do that, if Dalvin Cook can make a difference, because that's one of my other thoughts. I think Dalvin Cook is going to make a difference because Dalvin Cook wants to prove to everybody, I still got it. I'm going to show y'all. They've been putting me on ice. Man, they've been sitting me down for the wrong reason. I don't know why they had me sitting down this long. Man, I'm about to come out this box on y'all. Man, I'm about to run hard every run. I'm running angry up in here because y'all done had me sitting down for 6 games. I'm running angry. Appreciate you, Spider-Man. My bold prediction, we will rush for over 100. Oh, we better. I believe we are too. Because if Dowdle and Cook can be that 1-2 punch, oh, man, we about to be cooking. We about to be cooking. My prediction. Cowboys 34, 49ers 21. That's if we do everything we're supposed to do. That's if we do everything we're supposed to do. But if we don't do these things that we're supposed to do, I believe, and let me go back. Cowboys 34-21. If we do what we're supposed to do. If we don't do what we're supposed to do, the 49ers are going to run us out of San Francisco. 31-13. They're going to run us out of the stadium. If we can't stop the run, they're going to score at will. They're going to have long drives. They're going to dominate time of possession. And they're going to run us out of the field, out of the stadium. Brock Purdy is going to throw that ball barely 15 times. They're going to run that ball 40 times, 40 plus. They're going to run us out of the stadium. And it's going to be 31-13. That's my prediction. We do what we're supposed to do. 34-21. We're going to be scoring. And if they score 21, it'll be because it'll pretty much be in garbage time. And we'll be trying to get out of San Francisco with that win because we've dominated the game. We've scored. We've run the ball. We got our play action going. We're hitting CD for a couple of touchdowns. We'll run a couple of touchdowns. And we'll get a couple of field goals. I mean, it'll really be that kind of game. It really will. 34-21. Because that means we've stopped the run pretty much. 31-13. If we can't stop the run, we'll never keep him out of the end zone. We'll never keep him out. So y'all tell me what you think. I will be at some point tomorrow. Appreciate you, Robert. I have not decided when, but I will be. Oh, yes, Spider-Man, let it be so. I will be live streaming again tomorrow, but it'll probably be around 7 or 8. We'll probably do something late, somewhere around 7 or 8. and just talk Cowboys again about some of the stuff we've already talked about, summarizing the whole week. Maybe there'll be some more revelation about what's going on as we'll get a clearer game plan as they start revealing some things maybe tomorrow in the news. And whatever else that we hear about with the Dallas Cowboys, we'll stay up to date. So again, if you like this show, please, if you like this live stream, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you will know the next time. Let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.